Everyone thought the hearing was over. People were already standing up. My ex-wife was smiling. She leaned toward her lawyer and whispered, "Let's go. This was easy." That's when the doors opened, and I walked back into the courtroom, holding a small cardboard box. Her smile disappeared the moment she saw me. I didn't rush. I didn't look angry. I didn't even look at her. I walked straight to the judge's desk and placed the box down carefully. The judge stopped everything, looked inside the box, then looked at my ex-wife and said, "Please remain seated." That's when her face changed, because this wasn't part of her plan. Let me take you back to where this all started. I met Victoria at a coffee shop on a Tuesday morning. She was sitting by the window, sketching something in a notebook. I was there with blueprints spread across 3 tables, trying to solve a problem I'd been stuck on for weeks. She looked over and said, "You look like someone who needs better coffee." I laughed. She didn't. She was serious. That's how it began. 6 months later, we were married in a courthouse with 2 witnesses we didn't know. No family. No big ceremony. Just us. She said she didn't need anything fancy. She said love was enough. And I believed her. Back then, I was working on something I called Project Helix. It was a system designed to streamline supply chain tracking for small businesses. Nothing glamorous. Nothing that would make headlines. But it worked. And it could have helped a lot of people. Victoria knew about it. She watched me work late into the night, papers scattered everywhere, coffee going cold beside my keyboard. She'd bring me food sometimes, sit beside me, ask questions. I thought she was interested. I thought she cared. I told her everything, every detail, every breakthrough, every failure. I trusted her with it, the way you trust someone who promised to stand beside you. But things started changing about 2 years in. She got quieter, started working later, said she was building her own consulting business. I supported her. I always did. Then one night she came home and said, "I think we've grown apart." Just like that. No fight. No explanation. Just a sentence that ended everything. She moved out the next week. Filed for divorce a month later. And I didn't fight it. I was too tired, too confused, too broken to see what was really happening. Now back in the courtroom, the judge asked me to open the box. Inside were folders. Old ones. Each folder had dates written on it. Dates she used to laugh at. Dates she called wasted time. The judge opened the first folder. It was a development log. Handwritten notes. Sketches. Timestamps. All in my handwriting. All dated before the separation. The judge read the date aloud. March 14th, 2021. She looked at Victoria. Then opened the second folder. This one had emails. Emails I'd sent to myself as backups. Drafts I'd written at 3 in the morning when ideas hit me, and I didn't want to forget them. The judge scanned them silently. Her expression didn't change, but her jaw tightened. Then she opened the third folder. This one had screenshots. Screenshots of Victoria's company website. The same system I had built. The same language I had used. The same framework I had designed. Just rebranded. Just renamed. Just stolen. With every page she read, Victoria's posture changed. Her shoulders pulled inward. Her breathing got shallow. Her lawyer leaned over and whispered something. She shook her head. The judge set the folders down and looked across the room. Her lawyer tried to interrupt. He stood up, cleared his throat and said, "Your Honor, I'm not sure what relevance these documents have to the dissolution proceedings." The judge raised one finger and stopped him. She didn't even look at him. Just one finger. And he sat back down immediately. And that's when I realized something. This was no longer about the divorce. This was about the truth. The judge flipped to another page. Then another. Then she stopped. She pulled out a printed email and adjusted her glasses. She read it out loud. Subject: Final Draft, Project Helix. From Victoria Brennan. To Victoria Brennan. Sent 2 days after separation filing. The room went completely silent. She continued. Attached: complete technical specifications. Author field modified. Victoria's face drained of color. Someone in the back row gasped. The judge looked up, looked directly at Victoria, and said, "This email was sent to yourself, from your shared account, with his work attached, 2 days after you filed for divorce." Victoria opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Her lawyer put a hand on her shoulder. She flinched. The judge read one email out loud. It was her email. She had taken my unfinished ideas, sent them to herself, changed the name, filed them under her company. I didn't say a word. I didn't have to. The room said everything for me. People were whispering now. Not loud, but enough. Enough that Victoria could hear it. Enough that her lawyer looked uncomfortable. Enough that the air in the room felt different. Heavier. Then the judge reached into the box one more time. She pulled out an envelope. Old. Yellowed at the edges. Sealed. It had my handwriting on the front. To Victoria. The judge held it up and said, "This was submitted as evidence. Found in a trash bin outside your former residence." Victoria's lawyer looked at her. She wouldn't meet his eyes. The judge opened the envelope carefully, pulled out a single piece of paper, and read it aloud. "I won't fight you now. I'll let time decide who this work belongs to. If you ever feel guilty, don't. I gave it freely because I loved you. But I kept records because I loved my work." The room was so quiet I could hear someone's watch ticking. Her hands started shaking. I saw it from across the room. The way her fingers curled into her palms. The way her lips pressed together. The way her whole body seemed to fold inward. The judge set the letter down gently. She folded her hands. And then she asked the question that broke everything. "Did you think he would never notice?" Victoria opened her mouth. Her lips formed a word. Maybe two. But nothing came out. Because deep down she already knew. She knew the moment I walked back into that courtroom. She knew the moment she saw the box. She knew the second the judge opened that first folder. She'd been caught. And there was no script for this. The judge leaned back in her chair. She took a breath. And then she spoke. Slowly. Clearly. With the kind of authority that makes a room hold its breath. This court finds that intellectual property was taken unlawfully during the marriage. She paused. Let that settle. Then continued. The work in question was developed solely by the petitioner. It was appropriated without consent. It was monetized without credit. And it generated significant revenue under false pretense. Another pause. Longer this time. Damages awarded to the petitioner. $1,300,000. The courtroom erupted. Not loud, but enough. Whispers. Gasps. Someone said, "Oh my God," under their breath. Victoria's lawyer dropped his pen. It clattered onto the table. He didn't pick it up. I didn't smile. I didn't react. I just exhaled. For the first time in 2 years, I felt like I could breathe. People started standing up. Slowly, gathering their things. Some of them looked at Victoria. Not with anger. With something worse. Pity. The kind of look you give someone who destroyed themselves. Her lawyer packed his briefcase in silence. Didn't say a word to her. Just packed. Closed the latches. And walked out. She sat there alone, staring at the table. And then just as I reached the door, she turned. Looked at me. Her voice was small. Broken. She said, "Why didn't you stop me back then?" I paused near the door. Didn't turn around. My hand rested on the frame. And I said, people who rush to win usually forget to check the ending. Then I walked out. The door closed behind me with a soft click. And I didn't look back. Some people mistake silence for weakness. Until silence speaks in numbers. If you've ever been underestimated. If someone ever called you useless. If you believed in something so much you documented every step, not out of fear, but out of love for the work itself. Then you know what this feels like. You know that patience isn't passive. It's preparation. If this story felt a little too familiar, if you've ever had someone take credit for your work, if you've ever walked away from something just to let time prove you right, hit subscribe. Because the next story might sound even closer to home. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.